Hi, Michael.
Hi, Carmen.
How are you?
I'm really good. I'm in a tuxedo.
You are? Just for fun, or?
Well, I sort of like to dress for the occasion. I hear there's sort of a face for radio, and I just want it to look really good for radio.
Well, listen, that's quite an image, and I'm sure it's going to do a lot for the interview, so thanks for dressing up.
I try to do a classy James Bond style.
All right. Well, can you tell us a little bit what it was like, what life was like for you at this time last year?
Pretty scary. My Christmas was the most uncomfortable I'd ever had because the night before I hadn't been sleeping. My insomnia was steadily getting worse and worse. I was weirdly immune to sleeping pills, so I would take them. They work one day and they wouldn't work another. Around this time, I think I was on tryptophan, which is just basically like a big shot of turkey, and I didn't sleep at all the night before. So my Christmas day was me just zombied out, trying to smile, trying to laugh. Pretty in general, scared about what was going to happen day to day.
So at this point, did you have much understanding of what was happening to you?
What sort of happened was I went on the internet, which is a bad place to go if you're suffering from any mental illness, and I did a lot of research trying to figure out exactly how I could get around this, to try to find some quick cure, some breathing exercise, some yoga move, some diet. I'd been a pothead for about 10 years, and I quit smoking in the same week that I quit drinking, eating poorly, started eating healthy, and started exercising. And I also quit caffeine all in the same week, and I sent my body into shock, which is sort of where the insomnia started to come in. Around Christmas, I was, I think, around maybe 4 hours a day, maybe. I knew that I have a genetic predisposition to anxiety because it's gone through my family for the last 4 generations. I didn't really understand what it was like until it happened because it's really a shocking deviation from the way you feel day to day, because I always thought of myself as somewhat of a laid-back person, and I was not. I was scared of things that I'd never been scared of before. Yeah.
It sounds really frightening. Now, if the internet is a bad place to go to do research when you're suffering from a mental illness, how did you come to decide to write a blog?
What happened with the blog was, weirdly enough, that was actually the day that I don't know if this is the right way of phrasing it, but the day I recovered.
It was a day?
Job.
Oh.
I almost lost my girlfriend at the time. Because there's a problem with mental illness, which is that you get used to being helped. You get used to the people in your life looking out for you, and you don't take responsibility for your own actions. And this girl who helped me through the worst time of my life, I treated her with I made her feel needed rather than wanted, which is, I think, the worst thing that you can do to a loved one. And that day when I was watching her cry, I realized that it was up to me. How I treat people, how I treat myself, how I take responsibility for my own actions. And that day was when I first started writing Colony of Losers.
So are you saying that realization was the key part of your recovery?
Yes.
Okay.
And that it's a step-by-step process. There's really, there's no cure. There's no moment. If you have anxiety, if you have depression, you're not going to avoid being sad or anxious. Those things are going to happen. No, to anybody, really. And you have to learn to live with it. You have to learn to accept yourself, because the guilt and the shame is really what fuels mental illness and makes it way worse.
So how much a part of the writing of the blog was a part of the healing for you?
It was interesting because I found my quarter-life crisis when I hit the anxiety. I was in that place that a lot of people are when they finish university and they have this degree, and there's somehow this child with a receipt for a free mind, and they have no idea how they're going to get a job, how they're going to become an adult with responsibility. And I got really panicked at that point. And the blog hit a lot of people because it's about the colony of losers. It's about those people who are trying to make something of themselves, falling on their face to figure out who the hell they are, and the mistakes and the friends that help you get up when you fall down. And it resonated with a lot of people, and in a lot of ways it was my way of saying thank you to all the people who I loved who helped me out, and to try to just basically tell a lot of people that they're not alone. The part about mental illness sort of came a little bit later, about like 3 months into writing the blog. That's a hard thing to talk about.
But you obviously hit a nerve with a lot of people.
Yeah, I get emails from complete strangers telling me about the most intense experiences. I'm incredibly honored by what the people who read my stuff have, how they've responded, and the stories they've told me. Because I go to parties, and friends I've had for years will pull me off into the corner and just say, like, I've been reading what you've been doing, and me too. There's so many people who you have no idea that they're going through the same thing, because it's scary and it's shameful, and it's one of those things that people try to hide, and they end up making themselves worse as a result of it.
What do you want people, everybody, to understand about depression, anxiety, and mental illness?
That it's shockingly commonplace. That there's no shame. There's no reason to feel guilty. I hated myself for quite a long time because I felt like I'd ruined my own life, that there was no reason to be worried, that the burdens I carried weren't large. There was no reason to be the way I was. And the thing is, it's like, you don't get to choose. Nobody would ever choose to feel this way. There's nothing wrong with feeling this way. We got to stop fighting ourselves, and I think that we have to show who we are, because the face of mental illness is hidden. A lot of people don't realize that it's in their families, that it's in their friends, that some of the greatest minds of our time have had mental illness. Like, I mean, you look at Einstein, Newton, Gödel, like the people who shaped our perceptions of the way reality are. They suffered from depression. They suffered from anxiety. Abraham Lincoln, Martin Luther King, Jim Carrey. Like, these are the people. These are the same people who suffer from mental illness, just like homeless people do, just like drug addicts do. We're a very large community. We have to start accepting ourselves, and we have to fight this stigma. We have to kick it in the balls.
Michael, thank you so much for talking to us today. I hope we can talk to you again when it gets closer to the time for your book to come out. And in the meantime, I hope you have a peaceful holiday.
I believe I will. There'll be all kinds of cherubs and apple cider. And
not to mention tuxedos.
Oh, I'm going to be rocking a tuxedo.
All right.
Thank you so much for talking to me, and thanks for everybody for listening.
Really nice to talk to you.
Have a lovely day.
You too. Goodbye.